Hello, and welcome to the Empowerography Podcast. This is a platform created for women's voices to be heard and a place to share their stories, journeys, and successes with the world for the purpose of helping other women who might be on similar journeys. We are empowering women one episode at a time. I'm your host, Brad Walsh, so kick back, grab one of your favorite beverages, and enjoy the stories. Are you an author, speaker, coach, or entrepreneur building a brand in today's very crowded marketplace? How do you stand out? Join me on September 27th and share 97 minutes of your time for just $97 and learn how to empower your brand message and shine as a guest on podcasts. iHeart's doing it. Spotify's doing it. You should do it too. Join me and spend 97 minutes of your time for just $97. You can find the registry link in the show notes. Hope to see you there. Hello there, Brad Walsh here, your host of the Empowerography Podcast. Today, my guest is Jennifer Schutz. She is a certified strength-based parent coach specializing in empowering moms raising neurodivergent children and an executive function coach. Welcome, Jen. How are you today?
Hi, thank you. I'm so excited to be here with you. It's been a long time coming, and I'm just ready to chat with you.
Yes, it has been a while, and I'm very excited to have you here and very much looking forward to jumping in and sharing all about the beautiful light you put it into the world through the work you're doing and share a little bit about your story and your journey. So with that being said, let us jump right in.
Okay.
How long have you been working as a strength-based parent coach specializing in empowering moms who are raising neurodivergent children? And what inspired your journey into this work?
Well, my own family has inspired me. I am a parent myself with 3 neurodivergent children. They're all adopted from the foster system, so they all have trauma and things that have happened in their life. And going through my journey raising them has really inspired me to help other moms go through the journey as well. I'm also a mental health nurse practitioner. I work with kids in the mental health sector. And so just witnessing my journey, my kids' journey, and my clients' journey is really just kind of thrown me in. I'm executive function coach. I've been doing that for, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 years. And it just seemed the next route to take of helping moms because it just was organic how it came about.
Yeah. And so can you explain the whole strength-based approach with your coaching and how it differs from the more traditional methods of parenting and education and coaching?
Yeah. The traditional parenting, comes back from when we were growing up, and it was more of a discipline and shame and consequences. And that doesn't work for our kids who are on the spectrum. That just doesn't apply to them. So I'm really more about focusing on strengths, resilience, people's abilities rather than their deficits and their weaknesses. We don't focus on that. We just focus on, and everybody has a capacity, no matter what your ability is, to be resilient and a capacity for change. So I really like to focus on the strength.
Yeah. And so you mentioned that you're a mental health practitioner. What was are you still doing that work, first of all?
Yes.
Okay.
I have a few hats that I put on a soft.
You wear multiple hats. So what drives, motivates, and inspires you to keep going and excelling at all that you do?
The kids. Really, it comes down to they're our future. And it's just acceptance and awareness and inclusion. And I want to help moms who are thrown into that traditional parenting and being told you need to do this, but it doesn't work. And so there are other ways to go about it to help the mother flourish, the children, and then it goes into our community, the schools.
It's that ripple effect.
It's just really, yeah. So I'm really into the grassroots, lower level, and then it just will trickle out. So,
yeah. How do you define neurodivergence, and why is it important for parents to understand this concept fully?
Yeah, it's really just a difference on how the brain processes and learns. There's the neurotypical, and that's what we've always kind of known of, like how kids learn, but that's not, everybody doesn't fall into that umbrella. Like the neurodivergent is an umbrella of ADHD, autism, OCD. There's just learning disabilities, dyslexia. It's just a different way of learning that is not like across the board for everybody. And
Well,
it's
I mean,
really,
I think that's the same with anything. None of us learn the same way. We all learn differently. Some
I'm not
people learn by observing. Some people learn by reading. It just depends on who you are.
exactly. I'm not a big fan of the word disability because we all have different abilities. Like you
Hmm.
learn differently than I
Yeah,
learn versus somebody else.
absolutely.
I feel like the word disability is just negative connotation that like labels somebody.
So what word do you prefer using then?
I like to use differently abled because we all have
Differently
abilities.
abled.
Yeah. So it's just
Okay.
different. Yeah.
What are some common misconceptions that you encounter or that you have encountered about neurodivergent children, and how do you address them when they come up?
Oh gosh. There's just so many that these kids get put through school. They're high risk of bullying and being ostracized. And misconceptions is if you're looking at autistic people, they
Hmm.
say, well, no eye contact. Well, that's not like true across the board. An autistic person, if have one autistic person is very different than the next person, than the next person. So it's just this, like you've heard, it's a spectrum of people. And so I really try to educate people, even when I'm out in public with my own child and we get looks or people offer their advice. I just kindly
Unsolicited advice.
ask you, but you can turn around. It just turns into this judgment and shame culture that nobody needs. Nobody.
Hmm.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then the mom soaks it in and takes
Hmm.
it like, what's wrong with me? What am I doing wrong? Is my parenting? And then it just becomes a cycle.
Well, that's a spiral down a rabbit hole that you don't want anyone going down.
Yeah.
In your coaching work, how do you help parents recognize and cultivate the unique strengths and talents of their neurodivergent children?
Yeah. First, when moms come to me, we talk about what the mom's expectations are. I mean, it really comes down to, has that person grieved when they got the diagnosis? Because we all have expectations of what our family looks like, what
Yep.
we want for our kids. And so have they grieved? Do we need to educate them on what the diagnosis is and kind of building them up with the more information, the better, but it's really
Yeah.
about action. You can educate yourself all day and not take action.
Which then serves no purpose.
Exactly. You're just still in the same spot. And it's really important to have community. These parents and kids are just isolated and they feel so alone. So building a network, having a community, like I said, expectations. And then I work really deeply on nervous system regulation. So regulating our nervous system because our kids are constantly in fight or flight. So
Right.
knowing how to regulate ourselves to help regulate them.
Jennifer, what strategies do you recommend to your clients and do you use in your own personal parenting practice for managing stress, self-care, all of those things? Because as we know, it's important to look after ourselves and put ourselves first. And we've been conditioned to believe that's selfish, but it's exactly the opposite, because if we are not taking care of ourselves, what use or what good are we to our children and to those around us? So what practices do you put in place and what recommendations do you give to your clients?
Yeah, that is like the pinnacle for anybody in any sort of field, really. Not just parenting, but business and across the board is taking care of ourselves. And I really had to learn that the hard way. I'm a single mom as well. And so I've just pushed myself to take care of my kids first and my business and my clinic practice. And I used to say, I'll sleep when I'm dead just because I'll do it later. And I thought self-care was for wimps. If I just didn't do it and realize, Brad, like you said, that is not sustainable. And it's not for anybody around us. We all become irritable and grumpy and other words that I won't use. So what I've learned is through coaching is really dialing in on my expectations for myself, for my family of that day. I get up early and I used to hate doing this because I really like to sleep in, but I find that I'm a better person when I do get up early and get centered and dial into my nervous system. How am I feeling today? That kind of body awareness. And I do journal if I don't hit the snooze button, I do journal, and I do, like I said, do a nervous system regulation. I also love to exercise. I think there's plenty of medical research on exercise, good for the mental health and just our ability to sustain stress. And
if we don't do that, it's going to lead to burnout inevitably.
Yeah.
And we've been, I think, conditioned by society, parental, all of the different conditioning that we go through is that you've got to keep going, keep pushing, keep hustling, and all of this hustle culture bullshit. It's not sustainable.
No.
And people wear it like a badge of honor.
Yeah. Guilty.
We've all done it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And of course, women tend to put themselves on the back burner and put everybody and everything else ahead of themselves. So I think it does happen among men, but I think it's more common among women because of when women are parents and all of those things, then the career and all of these other things, it's going to lead to burnout if you don't put yourself first.
It's like we have to prove ourselves that we are just as adequate as anybody else. And that's how we've been raised mostly. It's just go and we're loud, which is.
And so you recommend all of these things to your clients, whatever works for them.
Yes. I mean, there's a variation, and I really feel like, again, falling into the strengths piece. What is somebody like their preference and what is their interest? And because if you are pushing somebody to do something that they don't enjoy, that's never going to stick. So really kind of all of my approach is really individualized because every mother's different. All their beliefs, thoughts and beliefs are different, and their kids' situations are different. So it's a pretty individualized approach, but it's the pillar of exercise, good diet, sleep is paramount for every human being on this earth.
For sure.
Yeah.
What long-term impacts have you observed in families who adopt the strength-based approach to parenting their neurodivergent children?
It's so wonderful to see over time that the family system is, I mean, it's not perfect by any stretch, but the growth, the positive growth and the resilience of going through society's stigma on autistic, ADHD, like neurodivergent people. There's so much stigma and shame. And I really believe that dialing into the strength-based coaching is going to help kind of build that resilience through how our society views people. And over time, and I'm a huge advocate here, and I'm in Seattle, Washington. I'm a huge advocate here with our school systems and different organizations on getting the word out and having awareness and not just awareness, but acceptance and inclusion. And so when you are dialing into focusing on strengths and abilities, the family dynamics change, and there's just more of this like calmness in the house and ability to be more flexible and to kind of go with the flow, just more positive growth.
And so speaking of growth, how has your work you do with neurodivergent families influenced your own personal growth and development, professionally and as a parent?
Yeah, it's a really great one. So professionally, I just try to stay on top of what the research is. Again, I'm really a strong advocate in our area in order to get that advocacy out, the policies out, to really have, again, that inclusion. It fires me up, and that's what keeps me going, is that it's not just for my family or just like our little circle, but like the ripple effect that hopefully for future generations, there's going to be more inclusion and acceptance of everybody. The judgment and shame is real and it hurts. And I've been through that. And so that's kind of what keeps me centered and focused on professionally, but also personally. I'm just fighting for my kids because they've been through shit that they shouldn't have to be through, and they're young and they have a lifetime ahead of them, and getting them the skills and the confidence to also be advocates for themselves.
That's a very important part. I mean, when they're younger, we as parents have to advocate for our children, but we also need to teach them how to advocate for themselves, because we're not always going to be there to advocate for them. Right. So teaching them that skill set, how to advocate for them is so important. It's integral.
I mean, they're our future.
Yeah.
Somebody else's kids, they're going to be the future. So we all just starting when they're young. That's why I'm really like focused on getting into the schools and educating. So all the kids, no matter what their abilities are, can be accepting to each other and then grow up in that environment. That's the future, because I'm not going to be around forever.
Exactly. And so how do you guide parents in dealing with societal stigmas and judgment related to neurodivergence?
It's just all about education and advocacy. I mean, just getting out there and going into schools, giving lectures, giving training. The teachers don't get enough of this either when they go through school. And so hitting the teachers so they can also get in the daycares and the preschools and the elementary schools so they can get in and they can make change too. That's like the key to when kids grow up, because all kids, no matter what they are, can be mean and cliquey.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But having that knowledge and having it be almost like the norm. Everybody's different. And so we need to accept all the differences. And so I also help mothers determine where, again, their expectations are and where they get triggered by judgment and society stigma. And so that's where we dive in so they can change themselves. Yeah.
And we normalize that through conversation as well. Conversation is the key, that we have to talk about things. If we don't talk about them, nothing changes. That is the catalyst for change. It's having these conversations like this.
Right.
And making people aware.
Yeah. It's that almost reminds me of, I hate to say this, but like politics, people being on different sides and being able to be open-minded, to listen and to communicate and to understand what somebody else is going through, even though you don't understand and see it. But yeah, it's just a vision everywhere. There's divisiveness everywhere. And that's we could do a whole episode on listening and having conversations and actually listening to a person when they speak, not listening to respond, but listening to really hear what that person is saying. We all think we're great listeners. We all do. And it's not the case. Yeah. Well, I try to do that through my mental health practice when I see kids and teens and young adults. And I kind of sneak that in when we talk about like listening to others and especially around anxiety and like those thoughts that come up for them and really learning how to be present and listening. Yeah.
It's important for sure. We spoke about burnout a little bit. So how do you address the potential for burnout and ensure that they have sustainable practices for their mental health?
Yeah. Burnout is so real. My autistic child went through burnout and it was awful. And so having those prevention strategies of self-care that you brought up, being in touch with your body, work first with the mother to get in touch with how she can become resilient. But then we need to focus on the kids and their burnout because they are not aware. Like they have no idea how to be aware of their own body and how they're feeling and how they communicate. It really, like you said, it comes down to communication and being aware of ourselves, teaching the mom those skills, and then she can role model. And it just trickles down again into that feeling of connectedness and safety with the family and to try to prevent burnout. The other piece of burnout that's really difficult to prevent is education burnout. And that's a whole nother topic where neurodivergent kids in a neurotypical school is at risk, high risk for burnout.
How do you envision creating a broader impact for your work beyond individual coaching sessions?
Oh gosh, I have so many ideas. I just want to tackle the world, Brad.
I know exactly what you're saying.
I put on another hat. Right now, I'm just really trying to focus on, I have, I have coaching clients around the country. So I'm hoping that trickles out and they feel empowered enough for themselves to advocate in their community, in their schools, their churches, wherever they're located, to hopefully trickle out that way. Word of mouth and just becoming a community. I really would love to, one of my goals is to start an autistic community for elementary age school kids and then another one for middle school kids and then on. That's kind of in my future. And I'm actually writing a book with my autistic son now. It's through his words and his pictures and thoughts. I'm just being the penmanship for him to how he tells stories. So yeah.
Amazing. How can policymakers and educators better support neurodivergent children? And what changes would you like to see happen? And what changes do you advocate for?
Oh my gosh. This what keeps me up at night. It's the policy and the education system. It's just not, it's a hot mess, even for any child, really. Funding, teacher training, new inclusive policies that aren't just like one curriculum that goes for everybody because everybody learns differently.
Yeah.
Not having the stigma again of like kids in special ed who get pulled out that puts them at risk for bullying. So I feel like the curriculum needs to just be ripped out and start over. I mean, this is just like huge. I think there needs to also be peer development programs in schools so peers know how to interact with each other and understand each other and be accepting. And be an executive function coach, I really feel like that needs to be taught in school as well, having those executive function challenges that a lot of kids have with ADHD, autism, that should be incorporated in the curriculum. There's just, the school system is a mess.
Well, let's just say, the school system needs a complete overhaul with everything. They should be teaching children about mindfulness, about yoga, meditation, not teaching them to memorize shit and regurgitate it. They're never going to use it. Let's give these kids skills that they can use in life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Going forward. It all needs to be, there's all the systems I think need to be torn down and rebuilt.
Yeah.
All of them. The medical system, the education system, the political system, all of it.
Insurance, add insurance in there too.
Yeah, they're all of them. It all needs to be burned to the ground and started again.
Yeah.
Keep the foundations of those systems because we don't want to completely start right from scratch with everything. But I think that if we pull it down to the bare bones or the roots of it and then rebuild that way, that's what needs to be done, I think.
Yeah. I mean, being in the school system for the advocacy, I agree with that. And then being a healthcare provider, I shudder being a healthcare provider at times because it's just so difficult in these environments in this box that they put everybody. We're all in a box and it shouldn't be that way.
No, we're not meant to be in boxes.
Yeah.
We are all individuals. We all have our unique fingerprint. We all deal with things differently. We all process things differently. We all learn differently. Let's broaden the scope.
Right. I'm with you on that one. Do you do mindfulness? You said about in the school mindfulness. What is your definition of mindfulness? And do you
teaching them to be in touch with their body, teaching them to meditate, teaching them about self-care, self-love, all of those, that's mindfulness. That stuff needs to be taught. And again, as you stated, all of these things need to be ingrained in and taught to our children from a very young age so that when we do that, I believe anyways, when we start teaching things like that from that young of an age, it just becomes ingrained in them and it becomes part of their DNA, part of who they are. They grow up not knowing any different.
Right.
And if we could do that, how much better would this world be? Because then we're producing and creating and helping to grow beautiful human beings as they get older.
Yeah. Accepting, no shame, no judgments. Yeah. One other thing, though, I think about is like the barriers for people who don't have the ability to. There are special schools that do teach that kind of curriculum, but there's barriers for people who don't have access to that. And it just needs to be, again, financially inclusive for all.
Yeah, we need to lift those barriers. Absolutely. There shouldn't be barriers to that type. They say education is for everybody. So let's change the education system and bring these things into it and make it accessible for everyone.
Yeah.
because everyone deserves that.
I vote for you in office.
I am running for office.
And hat on, Brad.
If you could give one piece of advice to every parent of a neurodivergent child, what would it be and why? What would be the biggest piece of advice you would want to give them?
Accept them for who they are. Don't try to change them. Yeah. They are who they are. Love them for who they are. Focus on their strengths and their interests.
There's another problem with the education system is we expect all the children, neurodivergent or not, to learn all of these different things. And if they're lacking in one area, let's say mathematics, and let's say they're very strong in science or English, why are we harping on the negative side of it where they're lacking in mathematics? How about we choose to focus on and highlight what their strengths are and let them focus on those? That's what we need to do.
Yeah.
That's how things need to be done and changed. I think that's part of it too, is focusing on their strong suits.
Right.
Harping on them for not being good at something. Yes, I understand that. I think we all have to have a certain, speaking of mathematics, we all have to have a certain level of understanding around mathematics because that is something that we will use in life. No matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, you need some kind of, I guess, base or foundation for that. But Johnny isn't going to be the next Einstein or mathematician. So how about we choose to focus on his strong suit or her strong suit? Let's give them the encouragement for that and focus on that.
Because then it trickles into their love of learning and their love of school and wanting to become X that they're going to want to do for their future, rather than pushing kids to do it all and learn it all. And they hate school and feel shame. Yeah. Yeah.
If we did that, kids would start to love school, I think, if we focused on their strengths. Things could be so different. And honestly, when you think about it, it really is very simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. If we did that, if we changed these things, it could be so different.
Yeah.
It needs to happen.
Yes.
In your opinion, what does empowerment look like for both neurodivergent children and their parents?
Self-awareness and self-acceptance, accepting like who they are as their identity. Some of these kids don't know who they are. And as they grow up into college, I see kids going, into college and they still don't know who they are. And it's just so confusing and it causes anxiety and depression. So really focusing on be you. Like I tell my kid all the time, you be you, man. Just you be, screw other people as long as you're safe and kind. But, just embrace who you are. And I think we could all be, again, it's simple. Yeah. If we could all just be our own people and accept people for who they are and talk and communicate, I really think
we'd be living in a very different world.
Yeah. Self-love translates into loving other people and accepting.
For sure it does. It's a ripple effect once again.
Yeah. Yeah. This mental health crisis that we're in, even pre-COVID, it made it worse. And I see it day in and day out in my clinic practice. And then I also see it in coaching. Like it's just across the board. Yeah.
This is, I believe, the next pandemic. That's the next pandemic, is a mental health one. I really believe that. With everything that's going on in the world today, that is going to be the next pandemic. And it's horribly sad to say. And even think about it, it just continues to get worse and worse. And we need to do something about it as a human race.
Yeah. We all need self-care. We all need to have that form of play-based. You think about adults. When was the last time you went out and played? Like when was the last time you just were free and just felt good about life, or just, and I'm to blame too. See, working and taking care of things. I do make it a point to, my exercise is my play, but
we've also been conditioned growing up that once you get past a certain age, stop acting like a child. Why are you acting like a kid? That's got to stop. What's wrong with acting like a kid every once in a while? It keeps you young. It keeps this young. It keeps your mind young and your heart and your body. So
Yeah.
why not go out and play, or go take a painting class, or whatever you do, what brings joy to your life, what makes you smile, what makes your heart sing, what makes your soul sing. Do what makes you happy, because when you're happy, that energy keeps you young in the mind and the body, and it spreads joy to everyone around you.
But it goes back to, are we doing things that we enjoy? Are we doing something that is our strength, that is our interest? Because if we're going to a job that sucks the life out of us,
Yeah, what
we
good is
kind
that?
of followed the path of school, and this is what we're supposed to do, and now we just are miserable, and then
and then we get stuck in those jobs because we feel like, and it's not to say you can't, but we feel like, and we believe that's the only thing. There's no way out. But there's always a way. Yeah. You always have a choice. You do. We all have a choice. Right. You can choose to stay stuck in your situation. Now, I'm not saying that making that choice is easy, or doing something about it is not always easy, but you do have a choice. You can make that change. You can change your circumstance.
Yeah.
It's just whether you choose to or not.
Yeah.
And whether you believe you can.
I was just going to add that in. Coaching really is phenomenal in the sense of being able to go in. I am certified through this neuro coaching model. And so we go in and we talk about changing our beliefs, our thoughts, our beliefs, and not only taking out those old beliefs, but creating ones that give you power, ones that give you joy and fulfillment, creating a new belief and erasing the old one.
Rewiring your brain. Whether you believe you can or you can't, you're right, as Henry Ford said. And it's true.
Yeah, it's not easy, but it's
not. If it was easy, everyone would do it.
Yeah, it's not a pill.
No, it's not take the red pill or the blue pill. It's, you got to do the work, and you got to be willing to do the work, and you have to believe in yourself, which I think ties back to surrounding yourself with the right people, having a community that supports you, that believes in you and lifts you up. And really, that's part of why we're all here, is to do that for one another.
Yeah.
I'm running for office.
I was just going to say, there you go. I'm still giving you that title, brand for office.
Jen, what do you think your unique skill set or superpower is that's helped you become successful?
I feel like I have a pretty good ability to connect with people and really kind of listen and understand what people are saying. I started off in nursing just because that was like my path. I felt like that was my calling, and I love to take care of people. So I think that's kind of my superpower, except when my kids are bleeding and I'm like, oh, you'll be fine.
Fuck it up. You'll be okay. Don't worry. It's not the end of the world.
You're okay. You don't have a broken bone.
Yeah, you're good. Speaking of success, how do you define that word? What does the word success mean to you?
Getting to the end of life and having minimized your, I just lost my train of that word, regrets. Doing things that make you happy. For me, it's not about like money or power or any of that. It's all about, I'm here on this earth for this short period of time, and have I made the most of my life, and that I've minimized regret. I don't want to look back and be like, damn it, I wish I would have done whatever. Yeah. Or I did something. Okay, it didn't work out. We'll move on. So just happy and being a part of a community where we all feed off each other in a way that we all grow together is really,
Beautiful. To date, what would you say is your biggest high or your greatest win?
Adopting 3 boys and raising them. Yeah. It's been a rocky road, but I would never, give it up. I'm blessed that they came into my life.
What would you say is one of the most important things you've learned in your life? And what was your life like before you learned it? What was your life like after learning it?
Actually, through my coach and through the coaching program, I realized, I was a people pleaser. I was doing things for others that didn't fill me up, or I felt like I needed to do certain things, like I should do things. And I really cared about what people thought. Yeah. I don't give a shit anymore.
It's about what Jen wants.
It's what gives me light, what feeds off into my kids, the people around me. And so, again, I'm all about accepting other people. And if you,
what does the word empowerment mean to you?
Feeling like I can make a positive difference in other people who want it. like not to push it on other people, but people who want to change, people who want to hear what I have to say, empowering myself and my family so we can make just a positive influence on, I guess, on the world.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to jump into the little rapid fire sections. The next grouping of questions just be 1, 2, 3, 4-word answer type thing, okay?
Okay, I'm ready.
You got this. Don't worry, Jen. How would you describe yourself in one word?
Authentic.
If you could be remembered for one thing, what would that be?
My kids.
If you could teach the world one thing, what would it be?
Acceptance and inclusion.
What is one thing you love about yourself that is not related to your physical appearance?
I'm trustworthy.
If you had a theme song that played every time you walked into a room, what song would that be?
I would say any U2 song. Yeah, I love them. So they would be my people.
That concludes our rapid fire section. Now back to our regularly scheduled program. I have a bonus question that I threw in that I did not send you. So a little surprise for you.
Okay.
If you could take one feeling or one belief and bottle it up and give it to people, what would it be?
Just having that internal acceptance of yourself. Just everybody accept who you are and just give that around. And I think everybody would just feel so much better about themselves and lessen anxiety and depression. Just, it's okay who you are. It's okay.
Love it. Who in your life has had the biggest impact on you and why?
I would say my son, one of my sons, my autistic son. He has taught me so much about the world and about myself. And I learn something new all the time. And I mean, I'm where I am now because of him.
Beautiful. What aspect of your personality do you think has been the most helpful in your career?
Resilience.
What is one lesson your career has taught you that you think everybody should learn at some point in their life?
I think everybody should learn about their own self-awareness and their self-identity. I think people just go through life and just put on other beliefs from other people. And why are you carrying that around? I was doing the same thing. I was carrying around other people's beliefs. And once you shed that and know who you are and what you really stand for, what your values and what's authentic and what you want, I think that's powerful.
Jen, if you could step into my shoes, what question would you have asked yourself that I didn't ask you?
Probably what is the most difficult part of what I do? And I would say watching people, whether it's in my private practice or coaching, people who want to change, they want it so badly, but they don't put the work in and they're still in the same place and they're still in pain. And it breaks my heart that it's hard work to do, but once you get to where you want to go, it's, oh my gosh, I just want to the transformation is so beautiful, but it's hard and they stay in the unknown beautifulness.
Putting in the work again, because people don't want to look inside. They don't want to. I think a lot of it is they're scared of what they might see or they don't like what they see when they look inside. So they figure it's better to just avoid it or ignore it, but it doesn't go away.
No,
it stays with you. It follows you.
Because it's the known entity and it's less scary than the unknown.
Yeah. What is your why?
Because I know things can be better. And my why is my kids, really. My kids, but also other kids that are, in a similar situation. It's all of them.
What is one of your biggest failures, or we'll call them life lessons, and what did you learn from it?
My biggest failure was, I guess I don't see it as a failure, but I think I waited too long to make changes. Like what I just said about that difficult piece, that I waited too long because I was scared to make the next step. And I'm talking authentically about myself, about what other people do, that I wish I would have done it a long time ago rather than wait and drag my feet. And that's kind of a little regret that I have.
If you had the opportunity to sit down and have a 1-hour conversation with one woman, any woman in the world, who would it be and why?
Mother Teresa, hands down. I actually volunteered at her hospital over in India, in Calcutta. And it's just a beautiful person inside and out of how she was so selfless and just would give. And it's that acceptance. She was accepting people who everybody pushed off. They were marginalized. And she was the forefront person of acceptance. So
if you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would that piece of advice be?
Screw what other people think. I mean, that held me back for so long, Brad. It really did. I was just so worried about other people's thoughts and what they were thinking about me or my made up thoughts. And that just wasted a lot of my time. Yeah.
Lastly, Jen, if you were to deliver your last 30-second speech to the world, your tribe, your people, your corner of the world, what would that last 30 seconds sound like? What words of wisdom would you impart?
Learn what makes you happy. Just let go of those beliefs of other people and just really make the most out of your life because it is so short, and just live it to the fullest into an authentic place of yourself.
Beautifully said. Wonderful way to end the interview. Jen, thank you so much for taking and making the time to be here with me today, for sharing a little bit about the beautiful light you put out into the world through all the amazing work you're doing, your journey, your story. I appreciate you, and I'm so grateful to have you as a member of the Empowerography community. Thank you for your time
Brad,
today.
So much. I appreciate it.
Pleasure and honor is all mine. Once again, my name is Brad Walsh, host of your Empowerography podcast. Today, my guest has been Jennifer Schutz. She is a certified strength-based parent coach specializing in empowering moms, raising neurodivergent children, and also an executive function coach. Thank you so much, Jen. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you very much for listening to this podcast. If you haven't yet, please be sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share with all your friends. You can find me at visuphoria.ca, follow me on Instagram at Empowerography Podcast, and on Facebook at Empowerography. Please join me next time for another inspirational story from yet another amazing woman.